Hey, what's up guys? So just got this complete Japanese Neo Drift Out MVS kit in, and yeah, you can see it has the original box, mini marquee, flyers, as well as the dip setting sheet and anti-static bag. But yeah, there's something just a little bit peculiar about the cart itself. And no, it's not a bootleg. Both of the PCBs are original, and it's not even exactly a case of one of the PCBs being inserted upside down or incorrectly, something of that nature, but I'll get to that in a minute. So basically, yeah, I try to insert it into my 4-slot motherboard, and I notice immediately, okay, it's not setting for some reason, you know, the cart's just refusing to go in. And so yeah, I immediately assumed, alright, no big deal. The seller probably opened up the cartridge shell, probably to clean the boards or, you know, give the contact points a bit of a scrub if they were dirty, and yeah, probably wasn't paying attention and mistakenly inserted one of them upside down. But yeah, it's not exactly even a case of that either, and yeah, I'll get to what it is. Alright, so first of all, here's a US Captain Tamade MVS arcade cartridge, and I'm not going to open this one up because it's functioning perfectly well, and as you can see, the cartridge label is pretty minty on it, so I don't want to risk creasing it or anything like that. But in just a moment, I will open up this Neo Drift Out cartridge to kind of show you the hilarious and uncommon mistake, I think, that the seller made when cleaning it. But yeah, moving along, when I'm cleaning these MVS cartridges, I like to set them down on the table so that the contact points here are facing towards me, and the arrow on the bottom of the cartridge is touching the table. So when you have it positioned in such a way, the parts side of both of the PCBs, which contain the ROMs and the ICs, will be facing upwards or towards the sky, and the solder side of both of the PCBs will be facing towards the table. Alright, so I got the screws out of the cartridge, so let's open it up and take a look at it. And you'll immediately be able to tell, if you know anything about the Neo Drift Out MVS PCBs, that this top one is original. All good ROMs and ICs. Inserted properly as well. Okay, so I've removed the top original PCB, as you can see here, in order to gain a better view of the bottom PCB to see if everything checks out okay. Which, of course, it does. As you can see here, we have another original PCB, and also properly inserted into the cartridge shell as well. Close it back up and see the bottom. We have the insertion point arrow and the warning label in the proper locations. So now, what could be wrong with this cartridge? Well, let's go back over to the Captain Tamade cart. Now, when disassembling an MVS arcade cartridge for maintenance and cleaning, a properly reassembled cartridge will always have the label reading this way from left to right. Both PCBs with the parts sides, which contain the ROMs and ICs, facing up towards the sky. And also this middle part here, this vertically positioned piece of plastic, the thicker part will always be on top of the top PCB. And the arrow will be on the bottom and the warning label here. So what on earth could possibly be wrong with this cartridge? Well, there you go, we have our culprit. Okay, so in summary, there are really only two possible explanations for what occurred here. Really, the first one would be that the seller probably removed both of the PCBs in order to clean the contact points on them. And while he did insert them properly back into the cartridge shell, perhaps the original label was really tarnished and torn, and he made a copy label and put it on here, but mistakenly, obviously, put it on upside down, which is kind of an uncommon thing that I've never run across. But I'm kind of doubtful of that in a way, because if you look at this cartridge label, it does look pretty original. So the other explanation is perhaps the cartridge, the original shell, was really damaged and scuffed, and he wanted to remove the original label and place it on a more presentable cart shell. And yeah, basically there is a way where you can remove these original MVS labels, and the process basically entails that you want to take, I don't know, some sort of heat emitting device, preferably like a blow dryer or something like that, and obviously first you want to remove the PCBs from the cart shell, and then take the blow dryer and, you know, run it along the edges where the label is located. And be careful. You'll notice when it heats up, there's a point where you'll be able to, you know, safely remove it, but you have to exercise some caution when doing so. And then it can be reapplied to a more presentable, better condition cart shell. So, yeah, to me, it does look like an original label, so I'm kind of leaning more towards the second explanation, but yeah, either way, just kind of a funny, uncommon mistake. You know, when I put the cart in my 4-slot motherboard, since I've never run across kind of this uncommon mistake here, you know, I wasn't really looking where the insertion point arrow and warning label were, because I've never seen it a label put on upside down. So just kind of looked at the label and put it in there, and yeah, it did not go in, obviously, for the reasons we've already touched on. But yeah, just kind of a funny thing I thought I'd share with you. And I'm not really upset at all. I mean, I got just an absolute killer deal on this complete kit with all these original components and the original PCBs. And I actually do think that this is an original label as well that was just removed because the cartridge shell was in bad shape. But yeah, I don't know, kind of a thing I thought was a little bit hilarious, so thought I'd share it with you all. Hope it wasn't too boring or anything, but yeah, appreciate you watching as always, and we'll definitely talk to you soon, so bye for now. Upside down cart label.